595 Turismo was a really pretty car. I need to buy one of these new edition Abarths. That's what me and my parents then did. Both order a factory ordered Series 4 Abarth. Abarth 595 Competizione, but I ended up buying it. 124 Spider. I put in a factory order Abarth 595 Trofeo. Then I didn't want it. Most basic spec Abarth I have ever owned, let's be honest. These cars were there when I needed them, when I had depression. Hi guys, what is going on? And you join me awkwardly sat in my car on my driveway out the front of the house. We're going to get some weird looks by passers-by for sure, but nonetheless we're doing this YouTube thing now. If you guys ever want me to film a certain video, then drop your ideas in the comments below, because today I have taken on a request from the comment section. One of my loyal viewers called Will put this comment, and yes, I shall take on your request, Will, and it's a good request actually, Will, so clap for good request and all that. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 Abarths, including this one that I'm in right now, my current Abarth. I'm going to be talking to you about my Abarth owning history. So all the 5 Abarths that I've owned in the past, including number 5 now that I'm in now, why I sold them, why I bought them, and kind of tell you some stories about each one of the Abarths that I've owned. So yes, you guessed it, this is a talking video. But before I get into talking to you about all the 5 Abarths that I've owned in the past, you guys are a bit cheeky, because some of you are watching my videos and you're not clicking. You're not taking a couple of seconds to click that subscribe button, which really helps. 75% of you aren't subscribed, and that makes me really sad. So yeah, click the subscribe button. It's free, and numbers do talk, and it means something to me. And yeah, hopefully click subscribe and I can reach a little target that I've set myself for this year. I'm not being rude, but I am going to have to refer to my phone for photos and for notes, because I've got kind of dates and stuff as to when I owned each Abarth. So first of all, you might want to know how I got into Abarth ownership. So my parents, they began their Abarth ownership with owning a Fiat 500 convertible they bought used. And then from the Fiat 500 convertible, they then upgraded into an Abarth convertible. So it was a basic spec at the time with 135 brake horsepower. And I think they did like a tuning box in it. Didn't do many mods at all, but that was a good Abarth in a wicked colour scheme as well. I'll insert a photo of that Abarth now, and we're getting some boys cutting past. But luckily they haven't spotted me. Okay, and then they upgraded their first Abarth, their current Abarth, which is their 2016 595 Competizione, another convertible. This one they've got now is modified, and as I say, it was a factory order. So that's how my parents went from Fiat to Abarth ownership, and that's basically how I'm now going to come on to the topic of how I got into Abarths. So when my parents owned their first Abarth, the blue and white convertible, it got me thinking about the cars, and I went to the same dealership back in the day, Hendy Sports Cars, where they were selling Abarths new and used. So in 2015, I bought my first Abarth. It was a used one. So what I bought was a 2013 595 Turismo in black. Oh, I should have kept that car really. It was beautiful. I think it was quite good mileage. So let me say, so 2013 in black 595 Turismo, had the panoramic roof, it had the Interscope sound system. Nowadays the Abarths come with the Beat sound system. I always think the Interscope was better, but if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. It was really good condition, and it had tan leather, so the black exterior with the dark tan leather, which was also in really good condition. And then being a Turismo, it came with like the multi-spoke diamond cut wheels with the yellow calipers behind it. Factory xenon headlights, which used to come from factory on certain Abarths. They don't anymore, unfortunately. So that was my first Abarth. It was a 2013 used black 595 Turismo. And I've just done some maths, and can I just say, when I bought my first Abarth, the one I've just told you about, in 2015, I would have been around 19 or 20, so that's not a bad car for a young lady to have. I've got a photo of the car in a dealership with the sold sign on it. I've got a photo of my parents' first Abarth, the blue one, with my first Abarth, so that was cool. Just a really photogenic car. It just was a really pretty car. That interior, oh, just looking at it again, very nice. And yeah, so that was the Abarth 595 Turismo, which was my first Abarth back in 2015 when I was around 20 years old. Okay, in 2016, I got wind that Abarth were bringing out a newer Abarth model. Well, they facelifted this from the Series 3 to the Series 4. So they were bringing out a Series 4 version, a facelifted version of the Abarth. I'd seen photos. So I went round to the sports car dealership at Hendy one evening because I got wind that they had one in stock. And I remember this very well. I must have gone there, my Abarth. I drove around the back and I saw my first Series 4 brand new, probably just come out the factory because it was obviously when these cars, the Series 4 were just coming out, and I saw a black and red one, and I looked at the rear with the different, again, upgraded kind of tail lights on the Series 4, looked at the face of the Abarth, the facelifted face, and I thought, oh dear, I need to buy one of these new edition Abarths. So that's what me and my parents then did. So when I think back to it, I think that was the first Series 4 that Abarth dealership had in stock. And it, as I say, it was parked around the back, not on display yet, but I had a sneak peek. I think I took a photo, sent it to my parents, and I was like, wow, the new Abarth looks really nice. So that's when 2016, as I say, comes around, and me and my parents both order a factory-ordered Series 4 Abarth. So let me tell you about the one I ordered, because I've done a video on my parents' Abarth in detail. If you want to head over and watch that one, by all means do. So in 2016, I ordered a factory order, Abarth 595 Competizione, and I spec'd it up to have, of course, a panoramic roof. I think it might have come the Beats, but it had the Beats sound system, and the red Brembos. I had the Seatbelt seats, so that was just Competizione kind of spec, to be honest. So at the same time, as soon as the books opened for the Series 4s to be ordered from factory by customers, my parents had placed their order for the first Competizione convertible in the UK, I believe. So although they ordered their Abarth first, annoyingly mine arrived first at the dealership and I picked mine up first. I think it was because mine was just not a convertible version, and my parents had to wait a bit longer for their convertible version. So annoyingly, my parents are like, that's unfair, we've ordered our Abarth first, but yet you're picking up yours first. I wasn't complaining, but yeah, they were. So my Abarth landed first, and I was really OCD about detailing back then. So I said to them, please leave all the factory wrapping on the seats, but especially on the exterior. And the salesman had to put a note on the car because other workers were just dying to rip off the factory wrapping from the car. But I was like, leave it all on. Then that day I picked it up and I was out there polishing it and ceramic coating it as best I could back in the day. So I was proper OCD about that car. And then when the cars were on order, we were able to pick out our 66 brand new reg 66 plates, and we went for consecutive ones. So yeah, I went for 66 ONU and my parents went for ONV, and we actually took it to like a little pub kind of car show, and we had the cars parked up next to each other, and someone cheekily said, look at these two Abarths that have come from the dealership, like there must be someone from Abarth there. And we're like, you cheeky little so-and-so, we've just paid money and these are actually our cars, we just got consecutive number plates on. It was my first brand new Abarth. I went from owning the used 2013 Turismo to upgrading because I liked, that's what my parents did, they bought a used Abarth, then they liked it so much they wanted a brand new one. That's what I did, bought a used one, dipped my toe into the Abarth water as such, and then I wanted to invest and put money into a brand new Abarth as well. So I think we both definitely did the right thing by going used first and then buying new. I kept that one completely standard, and I kept both those Abarths that I've just talked about, Turismo and my brand new Competizione, kept them completely standard. And then, now this is another story about how I got into Abarth number 3. Again, I got pally with the dealership. I just bought my second Abarth, so with my parents we were on first name kind of terms. And then I was dipping my toe into the kind of YouTube world, and they had an Abarth 124 Spider. Abarth 124 Spider, didn't know what they were about. So I got in contact with the dealership and I said, hey, can I take out the Abarth 124 Spider to do a little YouTube video on? So I arrive in my Competizione, park it up out the back, and I go out in this 124 Spider just to film a video on it. So I come back from filming the Abarth 124 Spider, park it up, and I walk in to hand the keys in to the salesman. And as I'm kind of talking to the salesman, he's like, oh, how'd you find it? You know, did you do a good video and stuff? And I was like, yeah, I found the car really nice. I'm just going to ask you. So I said to him, so how much is this car then? Like, you know, is there anything we can do with part exchanging my Competizione in against this 124 Spider? And we talked over some figures, and I think I walked away. And it just gave me something to think about figure wise. Should I swap my Abarth Competizione for this Abarth 124 Spider? So with the salesman, it was just a casual chat of like, oh, so how much is this then, and how much would that be a month? And you know, you'd buy my Competizione off me and you can take some of my money, I get this 124. It was a casual chat, but I ended up buying it. So in 2018, I bought a used 2016 on a 66 plate 124 Spider. This was a very low mileage car. It was owned by an ex-Abarth employee as a company car or something. I think the car originally came from Scotland, had really low mileage, and for the price I paid for it with the mileage, it was cheap. Whereas nowadays, as you probably know, they don't make the Abarth 124 Spiders anymore, and the prices start to rise because of that. But I got a deal because of the mileage. It had around 5,000 miles on the clock. I want to say I bought it for like 18 or something, but now they're well over 20, so I felt like I got a really good deal. So it was an automatic. I quite like autos, and it was an automatic. It was one of the first, because it was such an early 124 Spider, being on a 2016 66 plate. Mine was number 201. I had a plaque to say my Abarth 124 Spider was the 201st one to be made. I guess that was really cool. Had the matte black heritage pack on from standard. I really liked that car because it had the matte black heritage pack on it, had the red styling, and the car was actually like gunmetal grey, so it had a few different colours going on. The all black seats, a lot of the Spiders come with the black and red. I personally think it looks a bit tatty. I don't know. I think the all black looks really luxurious in the Abarth, comparing it to the red and black. I'm a fan of the all black leather. It's more rare, I believe. And because I was living at home, it was quite expensive a month. So bearing in mind, I went from a brand new Abarth to a used 124 Spider. It was over £400 a month. But I was young, living with mum, working full time. I think I could afford it, and I thought the car was worth it. I got loads of looks in the car, especially because I didn't look my age, and I was getting out of what people called was a Lotus. People thought I was driving a Lotus. People thought I was driving a Porsche, and I'm not kidding, because non-car people, the car looked like a sports car, and that's what I really liked about it. It was a talking point, like, what is it? It's an Abarth. What's one of them? I thought it was a Lotus, and I was like, cool, I'll take that. So really, really liked that car. Very expensive, but was well worth it, and I could afford it at the time. I actually went with my mum to pick the car up. So there is my last photo with my Abarth Competizione, and there is the 124 Spider sat proudly in the middle in prime position in the dealership. I loved it as well because it was like a manual roof and it was really nice. I won't insert photos, but I actually did like a prom run. I took a girl to a prom in it because it was just one of those cars that was like pretty flash. Now, what was finding with the 124 Spider ownership was there was such a new Abarth. I think there was like no mods around for them. And when I was still doing my YouTube thing, I found that I was getting more views filming my Turismo I had at the time, like more good views for me back then, like 100 views. But I was finding that the Abarth 124 Spider wasn't getting as many views on the videos as when I was filming the Abarth 500 shape, so Abarth that I'd had before, so the Turismo and the Competizione, because the Abarth 124 Spider, it was quite new and it was still quite a niche car, so not many people were maybe watching my videos because they didn't own one, whereas more people were watching my other Abarth videos because they owned the Abarth 500 shape. And then I took into consideration, although I could afford it, it was quite a lot of money per month. So, and I wanted to modify it, and like I said, I couldn't. There was just no mods out there. So I was also going through the start of my depression phase, which I don't mind talking about. I don't like talking about it, just being honest. So I was actually starting to see the kind of similarity of the story here. I buy used Abarth, trade it in, buy a new Abarth, trade that in for a used Abarth. It's all money, money, money. I'm putting money in and I'm losing money. So I was in all this negative equity with car finance and stuff. But I wasn't bothered because buying a new car was like a little bit of a hit for me, and it got me like, woohoo, I've got another new car. I'm bored of it. I'll go and get a used car. Oh, I'm bored of it. I'll go and finance a new car again. So I was in that kind of horrible finance system, but it got me the cars I wanted, so I couldn't really complain. So let's talk about Abarth number 4, which is probably I don't really want to say it, almost my best one that I've owned because I quite like them all for their own reasons. But let's talk to you about Abarth number 4 then. So I really don't think I had that 124 Spider for very long, maybe 6 months or so. And as I say, if my mind not really thinking straight, I went and bought another brand new Abarth. So this is another story, Abarth number 4. So in 2019, I put in a factory order for a late 2019 plate, a 68 plate, Abarth 595 Trofeo. So I must have gone into the dealership, said, look, I'm not really feeling this Abarth 124. Can I get out of it? And I think they probably said, look, are you sure? It's going to cost you, obviously, like all these finance deals do, but it's doable. Yeah, I put my name down for an Abarth 595 Trofeo. Trofeo was like a new edition of the Abarth with a bit of this and a bit of that. So Abarth put some good bits into like one model of the Abarth. And yeah, I wanted another new Abarth. So I think what the dealership did is they went on their up and coming cars that were about to be built in the factory. They put my name on the car and I ordered it. And then I didn't want it. So I ordered it, I put my name on it. And then I had kind of like second thoughts and I didn't want it. And so sure enough, the Abarth arrived with them at the dealership and they're like, Amber, the Abarth you did order is here. Are you sure you don't want it? Do you want to come and have a look at it? They weren't pressurizing me, but they were just saying, look, it is your car. If you do want it, you can. If you don't, we'll just have it here to sell. And I was like, no, I don't want it. Let it, you know, you sell it in the dealership, that's fine. And sure enough, the car, as I say, sat in the dealership. It was a brand new stock Abarth 595 Trofeo. And I think what happened was it arrived in the January for sale, and it had been in like I say, in a dealership for like a month. And I think I actually made the mistake of going to see it, and I was like, let's just see this car that was nearly mine. And I went and looked at it and I thought, it hasn't sold. Is that like a sign no one else has bought it because it's always been destined for me? Was kind of what I was thinking. And obviously I wanted it. See, I took that as a sign. I didn't want it. It sat for sale. No one else wants it. I think I want it back. So I think January, like I said, it was in the dealership for sale. February, I was like, in that car I ordered that I said I didn't want, I'll have it. And so I bought it. Because it was a brand new car, I was able to pick a brand new plate, and I picked a funny one. It had FKU at the end because I thought it was funny, and I think it is funny. So with that car, I think when I ordered it, I opted for the yellow seat belts, which I got loads of comments on when I owned that car. I also had the non-aerial on top, so they put in like a little plaque instead of having a pointy aerial on the roof. And then what also happened is another story with that car. So I had it for a little while, really liked it because I was in a horrible relationship. That person didn't like me having this car that gave me happiness. So I then took it back to the dealership after a few months and I was like, I don't want nothing to do with this Abarth. Can you have it for sale on my behalf? So basically they were going to sell the car on my behalf. I'd lose money, but that was kind of what was made to feel like I should do. So I did that. And then I thought, you know what? Stuff, horrible person I'm with. That Abarth brought me happiness and I want it back in my life. So I said to the dealership, my Abarth's not for sale anymore. I'm coming back and I'm coming to get it. So with that, I bought the car back. And that was actually my first Abarth that I modified. So, and because I started then modifying the Abarth, it got me some better views because I was actually doing bits to this car. And yeah, that's the only modified Abarth I've had, and apart from this one I'm starting to modify. We did things like the induction kit. It had a remap like my parents did. And yeah, really liked that car. Obviously the car was in yellow because that's just the best colour for an Abarth in my opinion. So yeah, I made it a really nice car. It wasn't overly modified, but the mods it did have were pretty cool, and obviously I really liked them. Yeah, so I got photos of my Abarth with my parents' Abarth. I had really nice petal wheels, which were really nice to clean. They were matte black, which was a bit annoying. But yeah, just a really nice looking car with some nice mods for what they were. And that kind of kicked off my YouTube channel again, because as I say, I was actually doing things with Abarth and people liked that. And yeah, I think I must have taken it to like some shows and that. And I actually owned a couple of cars alongside that one Abarth, so that was also pretty cool. I think I actually had that one for quite a while, to be fair. Just trying to flick through the photos now. Just me posing by it again. And little bits to it. Oh yeah, I lowered that one. That was cool. Sorry guys, just having to cut in here because I actually forgot that whilst I owned the 595 Trofeo, I went back to our local Abarth Fiat dealership and they had a manual Abarth 124 Spider in. Now, as I'd owned an automatic one, I was yet to drive a manual one. So I agreed to take out this manual 124 Spider for the sake of me filming a YouTube video on it for my YouTube channel. And of course, me being me, when I handed back the keys to this car, I did have to ask, how much is this car? Is this doable? Can I buy it? Can I swap in my Trofeo for it? And the deal went as far as I did put down a deposit for this car. I just ended up thinking it wasn't a good idea, so I ended up getting my deposit back. But this was the Abarth 124 Spider, the second one that I nearly owned, and I really enjoyed driving a manual one, as I'd obviously previously owned the automatic one. But yeah, this was the Abarth 124 Spider that got away. And what happened was I did a video where I had 2 cars at the time, the Abarth and something else. And I was trying to get out of car finance, because obviously it's a bit bad when you keep buying these cars on finance. It's not very good for it's great for your credit score because they love it, but it's bad for your actual bank balance. And I kept putting the car reg into We Buy Any Car. And one time it worked out that if I took it in, the price that they were offering, I'd get a tiny bit back in my bank balance. They'd pay off the finance and I'd get a tiny little bit back. So I was actually in the money by like, not a lot. I'm not going to say, but not a lot. So yeah, I took it down to We Buy Any Car. I've done that a few times with taking things to We Buy Any Car. I know how it works. And I took it there modified. I was really hoping they weren't going to open a bonnet, because I would have taken all the mods off, but I didn't have some of the original mods. I thought, you know what, I'm going to lose loads of money in these mods, but they can have it as a complete modified Abarth from what I did to it. Luckily enough, they didn't open a bonnet to see the big induction kit there I had there. I tried to drive it in there without it popping and banging with its map it had on. And this is a great thing about being on social media, being on YouTube, putting your car number plates out there as such, because I think a little while ago someone said that they've had seen that registration of the car in Ireland, and then I recently joined an Abarth Ireland group to try and track it down just to make sure it's having a good life. Now it's not mine. And weirdly enough, I couldn't track down the owner, but weirdly enough, he messaged me on Instagram and I was like, I think I own your old car. And he was revving it and it's popping and banging. So I guess he had a good buy and bought a modified Abarth through, I don't know who he bought it from. I had that in 2019. As I say, I ordered it, didn't want it, bought it, didn't want it, had it back on my ownership. And so I had that in 2019 and I sold it kind of 2021 to We Buy Any Car. So I had that one for a bit, did stuff to it, made it a nice car. Just as I made it nice, I got bored and got rid. From a financial point of view, it was great. I wasn't in any car finance anymore, but that then led me on to the kind of guilty pleasure of, oh, I can now go and buy cheap cars outright, and I can switch and change them and own them for however little or as long as I like. And I was owning all sorts of cars for like really little amounts of time because I could, and that was cool to be in that point of view. And it was also really great to not have a finance payment come out each month. But recently I have bought this Abarth number 5. You guys probably know about this one. I didn't really want a blue one. I would have loved to have had another yellow one. At the time I was kind of desperate just to get into Abarth ownership again. I didn't want to be too fussy. I like the car, don't get me wrong. I would have loved another Competizione. I would have loved for it to be yellow, but it is what it is. I can't be too fussy, and I'm happy with having another Abarth again, really. That's just how it is. So throughout the previous 4 Abarths that I've spoken about in detail, my main reason for selling each one has been because I thought I was getting an upgrade. So that's basically like, I bought one, a better one come out, I bought it, an even better one come out, I bought it, swapped it for a 124. Oh, I want another 500 Abarth, so I've got the Trofeo. So it's always kind of been like, I felt like I was upgrading my way through the Abarth ownership models. I was upgrading myself through the Abarth models, and that's my main reasons for selling on the Abarths, to get another one. And I just want to say I've touched a bit on like depression and mental health and stuff. I don't suffer from it anymore as far as I'm aware, which is great, because there were some really horrible, deep, dark times. But what I will say is this Abarth has always been in my life in those bad times. Sometimes when home life was unbearable, I would go out in my little Scorpion, I'd take myself out in the Abarth, or not necessarily for a drive, I'd go out and film a video on the Abarth. The Abarth kick-started my YouTube channel, and I'll always be grateful for me owning an Abarth and people wanting to view my videos because I own an Abarth. And as I say, these cars were there when I needed them. When I had depression, I was suicidal, just go out in your car and have 5 minutes, put your music on, take yourself out your horrible home situation to film a video, just get out the house, have a bit of you time, go back to your horrible house, but edit the video you've just done in your nice car when you've had it. They've always been there through deep, dark times. That's not Abarth, nothing to do with the actual Abarth people. That's to do with the cars that I chose to own. And I feel like with this one, I want to make it the best Abarth that I've had yet. Mods will be slow because of, you know, I need to get put some money together to buy the mods and stuff. But I am, like I say, they have always been there, this car. I feel a bit sad, but yeah, the Abarths have always been there to bring me a bit of happiness when I really needed it, to get me out of the house when I needed to get out of the house. and to give me this little YouTube life, which I needed back in those deep dark times, when I needed to have an escape from the mental health. The bath was my escape. It's what I'm trying to get at. And on that somewhat depressing note, it's time to end the video. As I say, this was a talking video. I've kind of told some stories. I've put a load of photos up, so it's going to be right pain to edit with all the photos. I'm going to have to dig out from the archives of my phone to put in this YouTube video. But as I say, I hope you've now got kind of in detail what baths I've owned, why I bought them, why I sold them on to buy other baths. And obviously at the moment I'm in my bath number 5, which I've owned since late last year, around October, November time. Basic specs, the most basic spec of bath I have ever owned, let's be honest, and that is a fact. But I want to make it the most modified, and because it is so basic, it makes me want to make it like more modified than any of my previous baths in my ownership. And we'll just have to wait and see. You just have to mark my words on that one. If you guys want me to make any kind of talking videos like this on any subjects, then like I say, let me know in the comments below. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed listening to my stories about baths. And like I say, it's true. I am the bath lady. I am the bath YouTuber. After owning five of these baths, I can say that with confidence. And obviously, stick around for more bath content.